We humans often see ourselves as masters of this planet. We build great cities. We construct elaborate systems to protect us from the elements. Yet when nature unleashes its full, untamed power, our modern world can seem remarkably fragile. We are often caught by surprise, reacting to disaster only after it has struck. But all around us, in the wild kingdom, live the true survivors. They are the unseen sentinels. They possess an ancient wisdom, a deep, instinctual connection to the Earth's rhythms. Long before our most sophisticated instruments detect a coming storm or a tremor deep within the ground, these creatures already know. They do not panic, they simply listen and prepare. This remarkable resilience is not born of technology or intellect in the way we understand it. It is the product of millions of years of evolution. It is a story written into their very DNA. Every rustle of leaves, every change in air pressure, every subtle vibration of the soil is a message they can read. They are living barometers, seismographs, and wind vanes, all wrapped in fur, feathers, and scales. Consider the sheer power of our planet. A hurricane can carry the energy of thousands of atomic bombs. An earthquake can shift mountains in mere seconds. A wildfire can devour a forest faster than a person can run. Faced with such overwhelming might, it is easy to feel helpless. Yet, life persists. It finds a way. Deep in the heartlands of Africa and Asia, the great elephant herds move with a serene, ponderous grace. They are giants of the land, intelligent, deeply social, but they possess a secret sense, a hidden ability that connects them to the very core of our planet. Elephants can hear the Earth's heartbeat. Long before humans feel the violent shaking of an earthquake, these magnificent creatures can detect the low-frequency rumbles, the infrasonic waves that travel through the ground. These are sounds far too deep for our ears to register, but to an elephant, they are as clear as a trumpet call, a profound and urgent warning from the deep. This incredible perception comes from their unique anatomy. Elephants have massive feet with large fatty pads that are highly sensitive to vibrations. They also have huge ears and trunks that can pick up these deep rumbles as they travel through the ground and the air. When the earth begins to stir, they feel the tremor in their very bones. You can see the change in their behavior. They will suddenly become agitated, stop their foraging, lift their heads, and begin to move away from the source of the disturbance. They do not wait for the ground to heave. Their internal alarm has already sounded, guiding them towards safer ground. This is adaptation in its most profound form. Over countless generations, elephants living in seismically active regions have evolved this early warning system. This ability was famously observed during the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Reports noted that elephants moved to higher ground well before the devastating waves crashed ashore, a powerful display of their connection to the planet's hidden signals. In the lush, sprawling floodplains of the Amazon rainforest, the world can change in an instant. A sudden downpour can cause rivers to swell, spilling over their banks, transforming dry land into a swirling, chaotic sea. For tiny creatures like fire ants, a flood should mean certain doom. They live in intricate colonies just beneath the soil's surface, and rising water threatens to drown them in their homes. Yet these remarkable insects have devised a strategy so ingenious, so perfectly coordinated, that it allows them to not just survive the deluge but to ride it out with astonishing success. When the first trickles of water invade their nest, the ants do not scatter in panic. Instead, a signal ripples through the colony, an urgent call to action. They begin to swarm, linking their legs and bodies together with incredible speed and precision. They weave themselves into a living, breathing raft. The queen, the colony's precious future, is carefully moved to the center for protection. Eggs, larvae. The workers form the outer layers, their waxy, water-repellent bodies creating a buoyant and remarkably stable vessel that floats upon the floodwaters, a testament to their collective power. This floating ark is a marvel of natural engineering. The interconnected ants create air pockets within the structure which not only keep the raft afloat, but also allow the insects trapped on the bottom layers to breathe. They can survive in this formation for days, even weeks, drifting on the currents until they eventually make contact with dry land or a protruding branch. Once they find a suitable new home, the raft disassembles and the colony begins the arduous task of rebuilding. It is a stunning display of cooperation where the survival of the individual is completely dependent on the unity of the group. A single ant would be helpless against the flood, swept away and drowned in seconds, but together they become something more. They become unsinkable. High above the land and sea, birds live a life dictated by the wind and weather. For most of the year, this relationship is a harmonious one, as they ride air currents to travel vast distances with remarkable efficiency. But when a hurricane begins to form over the ocean, the air itself becomes a monstrous swirling enemy. These colossal storms, with winds that can shred trees and flatten buildings, pose a mortal threat to any bird caught in their path. Yet many avian species have developed an uncanny ability to sense these tempests long before they make landfall, allowing them to perform a great life-saving escape. Birds are exquisitely sensitive to changes in atmospheric pressure. A hurricane causes a significant drop in barometric pressure, a subtle shift that we might only notice with a weather instrument. For a bird, however, this change is a powerful instinctual alarm bell. They can also detect infrasound, low-frequency noises generated by the storm's churning winds and crashing waves from hundreds of miles away. This combination of senses gives them an advanced warning system that is far more reliable than any human forecast. They know a great danger is brewing over the horizon, and they know they must flee. In the days and hours before a hurricane arrives, a strange and dramatic exodus occurs. Ornithologists have observed mass movements of birds, flying inland and away from the storm's projected path. Species that normally live along the coast will suddenly appear far inland, seeking refuge in calmer territories. Some birds, like the golden-winged warbler, have been tracked making incredible journeys to evade a storm, changing their migration patterns on the fly. In a remarkable display, some brave birds get caught inside the eye of the hurricane, flying within the calm center and moving with the storm until it dissipates over land. This behavior is a powerful example of how survival is linked to mobility and foresight. Birds do not build shelters to withstand the hurricane's fury. Their strategy is one of avoidance. They trust their ancient instincts, honed over countless generations of storm seasons, and take to the wing. Their escape is not a panicked flight but a calculated retreat, a testament to their deep understanding of the atmosphere. From the scorched landscapes of the Australian bush to the frozen plains of Antarctica, life has found a way to thrive in the harshest environments on Earth. In Australia, wildfires are a natural and terrifying part of the ecosystem, raging across the land with ferocious speed. Here the kangaroo has adapted to survive these infernos. When a fire approaches, these powerful marsupials do not simply flee in a straight line. They use their incredible speed and stamina to outrun the flames, often heading for rocky outcrops or bodies of water where the fire cannot reach them, a desperate race against a wall of heat. Kangaroos possess an innate understanding of fire behavior, a knowledge passed down through generations. They seem to sense which way the fire will move, using their powerful legs to bound through the smoky landscape to find pockets of safety. After the blaze has passed, the kangaroos are among the first to return to the charred earth, feeding on the fresh, green shoots that sprout from the ashes. At the other end of the world, in the unforgiving cold of Antarctica, emperor penguins face a different kind of fury. They endure wind chills that can plummet to -60 degrees Celsius, a cold so extreme it can freeze flesh in an instant. Their survival depends on a remarkable act of collective endurance. To withstand the brutal, months-long winter, the male penguins huddle together in a massive, tightly packed group. Those on the outside bear the brunt of the freezing wind, but the huddle is not static. It is constantly, slowly churning, as penguins from the frigid outer edge gradually move into the warm, protected center. This cooperative behavior is the key to their existence. In the heart of the huddle, temperatures can be dramatically warmer than the surrounding air, allowing the penguins to conserve precious body heat while they incubate their eggs. It is a selfless, silent agreement, a social contract written in the language of survival. Like the kangaroos in the fire and the ants in the flood, the penguins show us that adaptation is not just a physical trait but also a behavioral one. When faced with nature's relentless power, these creatures do not succumb to panic. They instinctively turn to ancient, proven strategies. They run, they float, they huddle, they adapt, and they endure.